All right, so look, we have some basic algebra here. Now, it's not basic as in, the first thing you learn in algebra, but they're always simple steps. So we have to solve for the x. That's this little guy right there. Kind of a pain, but not a huge deal. So we have our y equals a square root of 1 plus x squared over w squared. First thing, we divide by the a, get rid of that. So it's y over a equals the square root of 1 plus x squared over w squared. To get rid of this square root, we have to square everything. So now we have y squared over a squared equals 1 plus x squared over w squared. Let's get rid of the 1. Okay, so we have y squared over a squared minus 1 equals x squared over w squared. Multiply everything by the w. We got to get rid of that w. So now we're going to have w squared times y squared over a squared minus 1, right? And that's going to equal our x squared. Running out of a little space here. There we go. Clean this up a little bit. No big deal. And the last step we got to get after then. We have to take the square root. Because that's x squared, we have to take the square root. So we have x equals the square root of w squared times y squared over a squared minus 1. You can, of course, take the w out. So just put the w there because it was w squared inside the square root. So that's it. Let's try another one. Again, I don't love these types of questions because they are involved, but they're not actually that hard. So just bear with me here. So first step, this is our equation. We're going to divide by our 3. So y over 3 equals square root of x squared over w squared plus 2. We're going to square both sides. Y squared over 9 equals x squared over w squared plus 2. Now what are we going to do? You guessed it. We're going to subtract the 2. Y squared over 9 minus 2 equals x squared over w squared. We're going to multiply by the w squared. We're going to have x squared equals w squared times y squared over 9 minus 2. Fine. Now we're going to take the square root. So we're going to have x equals the square root of w squared times y squared over 9 minus 2. And of course, we can take the w out, put the w right there. Because again, it's a square root, w squared, done and done. Let's hit another one, all right? So solve for the x, fine. First things first, we're going to divide by the a. We got to get rid of the number multiplying by the square root. So it's y over a equals square root of x squared over w squared plus 12w. Fine, square both sides. Y squared over a squared equals x squared over w squared plus 12w. Now, I don't really care about the w attached to this. It doesn't really affect me. I'm just going to treat it like anything else. So I'm, of course, going to subtract. So we now have x squared over w squared, that's our x, equals y squared over a squared minus 12w. Fine. Now I multiply by the w squared like I've been doing. X squared equals w squared times y squared over a squared minus 12w, and take the square root of everything. That goes out. And what do we do with this? Of course, we can bring this to the other side. So we get x equals w times the square root of y squared over a squared minus 12w. It's a beautiful thing. Last one, and we are done with this one, baby. Boom. Now we have a 2 attached to the y. Do I care? No. We're solving for the x. I don't care about that other crap. So again, first things first, I divide by the 5. So I have 2y over 5 equals square root of 1 minus x squared over 9w squared. Fine. Square both sides. So now I have 4y squared over 25 equals 1 minus x squared over 9w squared. So now I'm going to subtract the 1, right? So I have negative x squared over 9w squared equals 4y squared over 25 minus 1. Now I got to multiply by the negative w squared to get rid of it. So I have x squared equals 9w squared times 1 minus 4y squared over 25. It's a beautiful thing. Take the square root, and ultimately I'm going to be left with 3w times, glorious stuff, the square root of 1 minus 4y squared over 25. God bless America.